Welcome back to the Awesome Agents podcast. Today we're talking about Apple doing something it has never done before.
Yeah, putting an iPhone chip inside a Mac. The MacBook Neo just landed, and I have thoughts.
Okay, so $599 a lens, A18 Pro, which is the same chip as the iPhone 16 Pro. Why does that matter?
It matters because this is the first time Apple has gone down market on the chip instead of scaling up. Every Mac before this used the M series, which was purpose built for laptops and desktops.
So they basically took the phone chip and dropped it into a Mac body.
Exactly. And that decision has real consequences for anyone hoping to use it for local AI inference.
Let's get into that. The neural engine is 16 cores, 35 TORQs. That sounds impressive.
It does. And honestly, the neural engine is real. It isn't a marketing label. It handles Apple Intelligence tasks fast and privately. Writing tools, image cleanup, translation, all that runs great.
But you said there is a catch.
The catch is memory bandwidth. The A18 Pro has 60 gigabytes per second. That number is the ceiling on how fast it can move model weights from memory to the compute units.
And that is the bottleneck for running large language models locally, right?
It is the bottleneck. When you run a transformer model, most of the time is spent on memory access, not arithmetic. The chip can crunch numbers fast, but if it's waiting on data, generation slows down.
So what does 60 gigabytes per second actually mean in practice?
It means a 7 billion parameter model with 4-bit quantization gives you roughly 10 to 18 tokens per second. That's usable for a chat interface, but it isn't fast.
And how does that compare to, say, a used M1 Mac Mini, which you can get for similar money right now?
That's the uncomfortable comparison. The M1 Mac Mini has 68 gigabytes per second of bandwidth, slightly more than the A18 Pro despite being 4 years older. And it frequently hits 25 to 40 tokens per second on the same 7B model.
Wait, so the older chip is faster for local models?
For LLM inference specifically, yes, newer process node doesn't help you if the bottleneck is bandwidth. And the M5 is at 153 gigabytes per second. The M5 Pro hits 273.
Okay, so bandwidth is everything here. What about the memory itself, the 8 gigs?
That's the other constraint. You have 8 gigs and there's no upgrade path. After the OS and background processes take their cut, you have roughly 5 to 6 gigs for a model.
So what can you actually run?
Comfortably 3B to 7B parameter models with 4-bit quantization. Llama 3.2 3B, 5.4 Mini, Quinn 3.54B. Those all fit with headroom to spare. A 7B model is tight. Anything at 13B or above is a hard no.
And this all works with Llama? No special setup?
Plug and play, Llama supports A-series chips via metal acceleration. The one thing you want to set is a flag to keep only one model loaded at a time, otherwise macOS will start swapping to the SSD and performance tanks.
Ouch. Okay, so who is this actually for then?
I think it's truly great for a specific person, someone who wants to run small local models for privacy, use Apple Intelligence features, and does not want to spend more than $599 on a laptop. For that person, nothing else at this price comes close.
But if you're a developer who wants to actually do inference work,
Get a used M2 Mac Mini. Similar price, more bandwidth, more headroom. The MacBook Neo isn't a local AI workstation, it's a productivity laptop with solid on device AI for everyday tasks.
there are also some hardware quirks worth mentioning, right?
Yes, only one of the two USB C ports runs at USB 3 speeds. The other is USB 2. No MagSafe, no SD card slot. If you are a developer who plugs things in, you will need a hub immediately.
And Apple Intelligence isn't even fully there at launch?
Some of the more advanced agent style features are coming later in a software update, so you are buying the hardware now and waiting for the software to catch up.
So the headline is best 599 a Mac ever, but the bandwidth wall is real and you should go in with eyes open.
That's exactly it. The neural engine is not a gimmick. The device is truly fast on the tasks it was designed for. But memory bandwidth is physics, and no software update will change 60 gigabytes per second.
Maya, always a pleasure. Listeners, if you want to dig into the full specs and the model compatibility table, the article is linked in the show notes. We will see you next time.